The holiday season is here, and what was meant to be a beautiful time of year for having reverence for friends and family and the good things in your life and hopefully Mother Nature has become a commercial nightmare, and everyone seems to get swept up in it, and it ends up costing people a lot of money and a lot of stress. This time of year that was supposed to be joyous and full of love and connection has become a giant headache for so many people, and a giant waste of money for so many people, and ultimately a giant waste of resources that is harming the planet. And everyone sort of partakes in it and gets swept up in it and says, well, that's just the way it is. But things are the way we are because of all of the choices that we are making. And if we all collectively choose to make different choices, then things will be a different way. So ultimately, the power is in our hands to do better for ourselves and for the planet. So today I have a list of 10 things that will save you a boatload of money this holiday season and ultimately be much better for the planet. So here we go. I've got my trusty journal back here again for my list. Number 1, DIY, do it yourself. There is this notion that you have to spend a bunch of money to have something be really meaningful, and especially for a significant other or someone super special in your life, it's, oh, I need to get this diamond ring or that designer handbag, or they always spend $100 on me, so I need to spend $100 on them. But I think that's crap. I think something made yourself is so much more beautiful, so much more thoughtful and full of intention and special, and that's your time and your energy and your craft and your creativity that you are giving to someone. So whether it's knitting a sweater or a scarf or a pair of mittens, which hats off to you. I tried learning how to knit. I was terrible at it, but there are some beautiful things you can make with knitting or crocheting, or maybe you're an artist or a painter, or you carve wood, or you can make a scrapbook, or you can make cookies or cakes, or just a beautiful dinner for someone. And the list is endless with that, and it will be surely appreciated, especially if you are giving of your heart in that much more than something that is just purchased at a store. And going off of that, if you love to decorate your home, and for anyone that's seen the National Lampoon's old Christmas movie and you love to have your house to the nines like that, that's great. It's wonderful to get in the spirit, but instead of maybe going to the store and buying a bunch of cheap plastic inflatable snowmen that will end up in the trash or in the gutter by the end of the season, consider what you can decorate with from nature around your home or other DIY things. For example, instead of buying fake plastic pine cones and pine needles, maybe just go to the forest and go get some for free and from nature. And when it's done, you can give it back to the earth. You can use candles, like a sustainable soy wax instead of bee wax is always better, but candles to light your home instead of cheap plastic lights. Or there's so many other things you can do to beautify your home. Dried flowers or poinsettia. That's a beautiful flower. I don't know if anyone or if everyone knows what that is, but poinsettia is like those beautiful red flowers you see everywhere on Christmas. Those come from the earth and can go back to the earth at the end of the season. And they're actually a really great flower because they'll last for several months sometimes, not just a week or two. So there's so many things you can do, whether you're decorating your home or giving to a loved one, that can come from your heart and from craft and use a lot less resources and ultimately save you a lot more money. Number 2, thrifting. There's also this notion that if it's secondhand, it's second best, but I say, no way, Jose. It is a very good thing to have intention with the environment when you are shopping, and something that was secondhand was firsthand at some point. Just because it ended up in a thrift shop doesn't mean that it's not of value. It just wasn't of value in that person's life anymore. So if you do want to get a beautiful dress for someone, or a coat, or a set of wine glasses, thrifting is a great place to do that because you're giving a second home to something that was pre-loved. And rather than adding more waste into the environment, or you're preventing something from ending up in a landfill and ultimately just scaling down the need for production and consumption. And it's a lot more sustainable, and thrifting's cool. There's a lot of history behind those items, and there's a lot of eclectic energy with household goods, or you can just find really beautiful pieces. And not just for gifting. If you're going to, say, a new party and you want a new dress, you can go to a thrift store and find something beautiful especially if it's something like New Year's where you want something flashy and sparkly and you know you're never going to wear it again. Thrifting is a great spot to get that. Number 3, regifting. This is going to push a couple people's buttons because there's this stigma that regifting is very tacky and rude and unthoughtful. And there's, of course, the old like folklore of the fruitcake that gets regifted to like every single home because no one likes fruitcake. Well, if you don't like fruitcake or don't have a fruitcake, then don't regift your fruitcake. But chances are from Christmases past or other events, you have things around your home that are beautiful, of value and useful, but just not needed in your life. But if you put a lot of thought and intention into it, they could be really useful in someone else's life. For example, I used to have a bunch of designer handbags and they were leather. And when I went vegan, I didn't want to wear leather anymore. And they were still very beautiful bags, but I just was kind of coming into minimalism and very irked by the whole designer industry and just did not want them anymore. So I gifted them to my friends who I knew were into those things. I picked out specific ones for specific friends that had that sort of style, and they were super happy to receive them. And so that way the item didn't go to waste and I didn't purchase something new just to put it out there and say, oh, this is brand new, so it's special. Regifting things around your home can be really thoughtful. Don't give people trash or useless things, but if it's something truly of value that you think someone would enjoy, it's a responsible and thoughtful thing to give that thing to that person. And it doesn't matter that the money didn't happen on it. It's truly the thought that counts for that. Number 4. Speaking of vegan, more plant-based meals. Not everyone is ready to go fully vegan or wants to or has interest to. I get that, but lots of people, even if you don't want to be vegan, you probably do care about the environment, hopefully care about animals to some degree. And whether it's butternut squash or green beans or sweet potatoes or cauliflower or Brussels sprouts, there are so many delicious fall veggies in season right now. And you can make a beautiful plant-based meal that is 100% vegan, but still has heartiness and flavor and will satisfy you. And it will save you so much money. But things like Brussels sprouts, potatoes, those are very inexpensive and very easy to get right now. And maybe you don't want to do that for your big Thanksgiving or your big Christmas dinner, but there's all sorts of celebrations that happen throughout the holidays. And if you commit to doing a handful of them more than you did last year, fully plant-based, it will be much better on your wallet and much better for the animals and the planet. Number 5. Charlie Brown, your Christmas tree. If anyone knows the old Charlie Brown cartoons where they have like a really big, it's used that term as a sad Christmas tree. It's the little one, it's a little decrepit, it's not quite filled out, it's maybe a little lopsided or has some bare branches. It's just eclectic and not the big ostentatious, perfect 8-foot tall furry Christmas tree. And those tend to be the ones that no one wants, but they tend to be, it's really sad because those kind of just get wasted. And the whole Christmas tree industry in general, there are some sustainable and regenerative farms out there. So try to do your research if you can find one near you, because the industry is not the best, but I can't say that the plastic fake tree industry is much better because most of those end up in the trash and they do not decompose. So it's kind of a toss-up on that one, which one is the best to do. But if you're open to it and you don't care so much about having the perfect Christmas tree, get a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's kind of like the runt of the litter for the Christmas tree farm. You're saving a little one that was rejected and no one else wants, and you can make it really special and it will have a lot more character, and those ones are going to be so much less expensive. Christmas trees can cost up to, I've seen like $500 for these big ones. The little Charlie Brown ones that no one wants are going to be much more affordable, and that way you're saving a little tree from being wasted and you can make it special and all your own. Number 6, arrange a contract of no gifts with your besties, your inner circle. I did this years ago with my best friend Layla and my sister. We decided years ago for birthdays and Christmas now as an adult, like we just don't need to get each other stuff. We know that we love each other dearly and we're very special in our lives, but we've both had ebbs and flows of having really tight budgets. And my sister lived in New York City for a long time. Like that's one of the most expensive places in the world. She didn't have extra income to be giving on gifts. And we just had the conversation at some point years ago. It was very easy, and it was just this mutual understanding of, we love each other. We don't need to get each other crap on birthdays and Christmases to express that. And it's wasteful, and we don't have the money for it. And we feel much better doing that. And it's very relieving. And I think there's this pressure. People think, okay, maybe I don't need to get my neighbor's friend's dog sitter a gift, but my besties, my inner circle, I absolutely have to get those people gifts. And if that really is your love language, I'm not forcing you to not do that. But sometimes if you, in your innermost circle with your besties, whether it's friends or family, you'll find that you do have shared value systems often, and the love is so strong, you know you don't have to prove that. So maybe open up that conversation to people you think might be open to it and say, hey, do you want to just ditch the gifts this year and like just take each other out to dinner or lunch or like bake some cookies together? And chances are they might be like, ah, oh, yes, that's awesome. And then you just have this arrangement. There's an understanding. There's no guilt. There's no pressure. There's no, oh, well, she got one, so I have to. You just have this contractual arrangement of, we know we love each other. We know we're awesome. And we don't have to buy stupid stuff to prove that. So that's something for consideration as well. And that could save you money, not just this year, but for all the years down the line, if you just make that agreement. Number 7, avoid deals. I just released a video last week about boycotting Black Friday. You can go into that if it's interested, but sort of dovetailing off this, Black Friday, where it used to just be Friday, now it's like mid-November through all the way through Cyber Monday, which I think is in January or something. I don't know, I don't participate in that, but it's essentially this now like 2-month block of just deals and bargains and save, but you're never actually saving in those, because what those brands do is they mark up their prices gradually throughout the year, and then they bring it back down to have this big sale, which it's really just the price of the thing that it actually was in the first place. But it's all psychology. It's all reeling you in. It's all thinking, oh, because it's on sale, it has value. But if you didn't want it at full price, you probably don't need it or want it at the discount. And if it's something essential you're going to buy, like you need to buy toilet paper every week, and then you go buy the toilet paper and it's on sale, like cool, that's a bonus. But if you're futzing around and shopping and just looking for deals, the deal itself, it will ping something in your survival thing of saying, ooh, this is a win for me. I wasn't going to purchase this, but it's on sale, so now I want it. But it's really 90% of the time something you don't truly need or want. And if you're buying presents and just trying to look for something that's a deal, I don't think that's necessarily from the best heart space of wanting to give something to someone. If it's, again, it should be truly something that you think will add value to their life and you've been thinking about it, or you make it for them or whatever. But if it's just like, ooh, that's a good bargain, I'm going to grab that, it's really not coming from the best place. And chances are that's going to be something that was made very cheaply and is probably not going to be used and will probably end up in a landfill at some point. So just stay out of the bargain game altogether, and you'll find you're going to spend a lot less money, because even though you think you're saving money in that moment, you end up buying so much more stuff that are things that are deals, so you end up spending more money in the long run. So just stay out of the coupon game. Number 8, offer to be the DD, the designated driver. I'm not gonna say everyone needs to go drive for this season and give up having some celebratory cocktails, because I know it brings a lot of joy into people's lives if you do it responsibly. But there's going to be a lot of parties, and some people, depending how social they are, there's a party every week or a couple every week. And if you offer to be the designated driver, 1, you're doing a good thing by helping your friends get home safely. And 2, you'll save a lot of money on cocktails. Alcohol gets very expensive, especially if it's, you know, a little extra cheer at a party. People tend to have 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 drinks. It depends on the person. But offering to just be dry for that evening or a couple parties or whatever your schedule is can save you a lot of money. And even if it's a party where, say, the alcohol is provided and you wouldn't have been spending money on it, if you maybe experiment just with being dry and seeing if you can have fun without it for that night, and you'll still save money not having to get an Uber or a Lyft home. So something to consider on that. Number 9, don't put it on your credit card. Just don't do it. I know there's outliers out there that say, well, I pay it off every month, so I never see interest, and then I get my points, and great. If that's your system and it works for you and it doesn't cause you stress, like, cool. But that's not 90% of the people. The average American is in $70,000 of consumer debt. That's not even counting mortgages or car loans or student loans. Consumer debt is just stuff they got on their credit card. $70,000 is the average. That's insane if you think about it. If it's an essential and you're strapped that month and you need some toilet paper, as we just mentioned, or food or whatever, okay. But shopping on your credit card is never a good idea. And all these stores right now, they're gonna offer you more credit cards. Oh, but get a Macy's credit card, get a Nordstrom credit card, get a Target credit card, and you'll save, save, save. Well, the only way you save, save, save is by buying, buying, buying. They're not just giving you free money. You have to spend money to earn money. And because you have this psychology running through your brain of, oh, well, I'm earning points, you're going to be ending up spending way much more than you normally would, because you're not, these stores, unless it's something like a Costco gas card where you have to buy gas, whatever, most of these stores are for things you just don't need. And then you get sort of trigger happy with buying things because in your mind you think you're earning, but it's really like the person at the Vegas slot machines, right? Where they finally struck and they won $200 and they're like, wow, I won $200, but dude, you spent $1,000 to get that $200 before you won. That's really what the credit card system is for most people. It is a dangerous system. It enslaves a lot of people, and before you know it, when you're in this, trigger happy state of, oh, but I'm buying gifts and I'm being loving, you see your credit card statement in January and you're like, I'm in trouble. And that's not a fun way to start the year. So just don't put it on your credit card. If you don't have the money to get it, you probably just shouldn't be getting it unless it's food or toilet paper. So moving on to the last one here, number 10. Sorry about that. I was near the end of my list and a garbage truck decided to roll on through and do its thing, and I tried to keep going, but it was so loud. So we're back here with number 10. Probably the most important one and most dear to my heart. Adopt, don't shop. Christmas is a huge time of year for people to bring new fur babies into their home, and this is a beautiful thing to adopt a new little furry little one. Animals are one of the best ways that humans can experience true unconditional love, and as much as these beings are so capable of love and connection, unfortunately, we have turned them into a commodity as well. Whether it's the purebred business or just regular breeding for pet shops, these animals are often kept in horrible conditions, just constantly having to push out litters. They're impregnated against their will and often kept in cages and just really unsanitary and unfriendly and cold and just awful conditions to just be little breeding factories. And because of our throwaway culture, these animals of this breeding industry either end up often back on the street or in a shelter or just very sick and not taken care of. And it's just a horrible thing that we're doing. And because, like everything else, we're producing way more than we need, this is just adding to so many unwanted animals that end up sadly getting euthanized. And it is heartbreaking to think of all the animals sitting in cages right now that are not going to end up in a home or going to end up on the street and very sick and just lead very sad lives, all because we wanted to make a commodity out of a living, breathing thing. So if you are going to bring a fur baby into your home, this is a beautiful thing, but please don't support the breeding industry. First of all, purebred animals, purebred dogs in America can cost up to $5,000. Like, there are so many better things that you could spend your money on. And again, we vote with our dollars. So if you're buying into this purebred industry, which first of all, can cause a lot of damage in animals as well. For example, the purebred pug in America, they're bred to have breathing disorders. Like, those animals live lives of extreme discomfort. That's very sad that we are doing this. And it's just an industry you don't want to support. And there are so many animals in shelters right now. It's so heartbreaking to think of these animals that are cold and alone and have had just very hard start to lives, and we're just often thrown away because of this breeding commodity culture that we have put on them. They didn't ask for this. So please vote with your dollar and vote with your heart, and do not support the breeding or pet shops industries. Go to a shelter and pick out a very special loved one that needs a home most, and I'm sure it will bring so much love into your life. Okay, my friends, that is the list for today. Let me know in the comments if you have any other money saving tips to add, or if you want to try any of these out. Other than that, thank you for watching. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.